Hey, everybody, we're coming to you live, the Serrano Brothers podcast. Jeremy, how you doing, man? Dude, life is good right now. Life is good. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. We were both in San Diego together, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Which is why we've been like we're wearing the same exact thing. Should we
Oh
show
yeah. Let's
people
start with that.
like with what we got going on?
Right. By the way, if you're on, call in. We want to talk to you about your year. So we're wearing these almost the same exact thing, right? These sweatshirts were made for my brother and I on Christmas from our little brother Jaden, and the bottom
Some
says the Serrano Brothers Cup podcast, which is
is
just
that
kind of cool. Yeah.
kind of fun, right? And then
Yeah.
and then your kiddo had
Oh yeah.
was like he bought us or he had made. I mean, just how adorable is that, man?
Oh, that's just great fun, isn't it?
I mean, I would never make myself swag, for the
Right.
podcast. I would come on, there's two people who listen to this, but it's really sweet. Like I was like really moved when they bought us this stuff, when they made and bought us this stuff. Like I was super moved by that.
Right.
So yeah.
Agreed. I totally agree. Yeah.
Um,
Oh man.
yeah.
So
Or
I mean, we'll see if anybody calls in. I just thought, I'm not doing anything tonight, and so I thought, why don't we just go live and see how it goes?
Well, that's actually really good because Elle has some friends over tonight, and I'm kind of making my self scarce. So I was like, it gives me a good reason to go to my office.
Right. Right.
I just thought that'll give me a good reason to go in the office
Absolutely.
and for us to hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, man, I was today's been kind of a funny day because it's like New Year's Eve, so like the kids have been doing stuff, and Isaac wants to spend all night playing Call of Duty, so I'm going to let him do that.
Mm-hmm.
And but I went to jujitsu, right? Plus, so Ann and I, we're going to be doing this walking tour again after Easter, right? We're going to Scotland and doing something called the Speyside Way, right?
Okay.
And we're only going to visit a couple of distilleries, but it's mainly for the walk. It's like a 60-mile walk. You walk bed and breakfast, and it's just beautiful. And when we did the St. Cuthbert Way, we just loved it a lot,
Yeah.
So we got to really start amping up our training. So we woke up at 4:45 this morning and started walking around 5. We walked for about an hour,
Uh-huh.
so yeah. And we were one thing I've noticed about walking so early in the morning, people are very nice at 5 in the morning. So if you're passing somebody, or if you're walking next to somebody so early in the morning, it's always, hey, good morning. Hey, how you doing? If there was light outside, they may not talk to you. They may not address you. But if it's like that early in the morning, I notice that people are very like, hey, we're gonna assess each other real quick by being very friendly, by being overly friendly.
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
Which makes total sense. So it's like, good morning. And there's this guy that, so when Ann and I we kind of lagged in December, but there's this guy who runs, and we've been like every morning, we'll say, hey, good morning. And he's running by, and this guy does miles. He does these big laps, right? And so just one day, Anna, what's this guy's story? And I said, you know what? I think this guy's a judge. He looks like a judge. He looks like he sits on, the bench, and he was a lawyer for a long time, right? So every time I see him, I always have the urge to say, good morning, Judge. I don't know this guy's name.
Right.
I don't know what he does for a living. But in my mind now, this guy's a judge. And so I'm like, good morning, Judge. I just think it's,
That's funny.
super funny, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that this morning, went to jujitsu, and then Ann and I walked another 30 or 40 minutes this evening, exactly 12 hours from when we first left. And then I was like, okay, I'm tired. Let's not do that. So let's stop now.
Right.
So we did.
I got up early. Went to 6 a.m. jiu-jitsu, and then I worked basically half a day. Just I had to get stuff done for both churches, and so that's what I was working on.
That's good.
Yeah. What do you got? What are you drinking?
It's just a 12-year Glenlivet.
I think I'm having sugar cravings because I really wanted an old fashioned, but I didn't have all the stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in Hawaii, I bought a pre-mixed old fashioned.
Oh yeah.
And
Like at a Costco?
No, this was. I mean, I got this at the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
So I went out to the grocery store and I got this, and I was like, yeah, I'll drink this. This is.
I've had those before. I bought one for Sarah Wilson for her installation.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty good. Like I appreciated it. I think she liked it too. So
nice.
So yeah, how does it taste? Did you try?
Good. Just solid.
That's nice. Oh man.
Hey,
is there any way to see if anybody's watching us or not? Or
yeah, nobody's on with us right now.
Nobody's on.
So nah, I'm just trying to figure out. People actually have to click it. That's the benefit. I mean, the hard part of this is I couldn't figure out how to get this to live stream to Facebook. There was something about the connection that was wonky for it. So I couldn't. So people actually have to click the link, and then another tab will pop up with this. So
yeah.
I may have to. I was able to link my personal account to it, but I couldn't link the page account for some reason for the Serrano Brothers podcast. And so I may have to link it to mine, and then we just share it from mine to the Serrano Brothers.
Yeah, whatever.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Hey, I did something really cool this last week. It was it had to be the day after Christmas. So the family got together the day after Christmas, and we went down and saw my brother-in-law, who is a captain in the fire department. And he happened to be at the station at the airport. And so he took us onto the tarmac in one of the trucks. In fact, it took two trucks. So two trucks went onto the tarmac. And there is a road that basically goes all the way around the runway at San Diego. And basically we got to drive along the terminal, along the runway to see the planes taking off and stuff. And good.
So did you ever cross the runway? Because that would be kind of heart pounding to me. Are you looking
It was
for planes?
anxiety producing, Joshua. It was an anxiety producing.
Because that's a busy ass airport,
It is.
So
and so at one point, I think he told me, they are at 45 seconds right now between multiple landings and multiple takeoffs. That's how often a plane comes in or goes out, and they're trying to get it down to 30 seconds.
Wow.
So at one point, we, at the very end, we run out of road and it dead ends into the taxiway. And so at that point, he has to call the tower and get permission to cross the taxiway and drive on the taxiway for probably about a quarter mile. And so one point we get onto the taxiway and a plane is coming at us. So he had to do a U-turn and get out of the way because you cannot stop planes on the airport. Fire trucks get in big trouble if they stop planes. Like if a plane has to press on its brake because there's a fire truck there, it's an incident.
Right.
And
Right.
so he gets on and talks to the tower, and then they give permission, and then we go. And that was anxiety producing.
That would produce so much anxiety in me too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did
it
did
was.
did did he say it's anxiety producing for him?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He doesn't work at the station enough um to like be, you know, like all old this old hat kind of stuff, you know. Uh
What
yeah.
was he doing there? Was he just assigned there for the day?
Yeah, because I think they're short staffed, and so they have to give him overtime and like stuff like that, and move like they needed a captain at that station, so he was the cap at that station.
Uh, uh.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was really really cool to go into the secure area.
I mean, this was in fire trucks, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's already cool to be in a fire truck. It's already cool to be given a ride in a fire truck. Right.
And these things aren't just like your standard red fire trucks. These are big neon green tanks because they have a certain amount of water that they have to have inside of them. And they have these giant cannons in front of them that you operate with a joystick. And of course, we got to shoot off the water in the cannons because they have to.
Do they have a little button to spray the water?
For not only a street, and I got to do it, and I was like, I'm a fireman. And so that was just so much fun doing that. And I told him, hey man, like, is it kosher for you to have us do this? Like, is it okay? And he goes, we have to drive and test the equipment every day in case something happens.
Yeah.
And he goes, this is our test. And I was like, cool. So the kids were it was Jess and I with Ben in one truck, and then the kids in another truck with an engineer.
Okay.
And they pulled up right side by side, and then we just shot the water and moved it around and like foamed. And he was telling me about the different nozzles and like it rotates and like, you know, it was just pretty cool.
That sounds like a fun time, dude.
It was a fun time.
That's pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun. Anybody?
Can we tell if anyone joined us or no?
There's nobody on with us.
Well, it's all right. It's nice having a drink.
Indeed. How was your 2024? How would you wrap up this year?
I think that's a good question. It's been a rough year, Jer. It's been a rough year. Like, you know, with mom having open heart surgery, right? Being down there, being away from me on Easter, right? And then after that, Anne's grandfather dying and all the time we spent, you know, dealing with all of that and the repercussions and stuff of that. And then I got really bad pneumonia. So I was like sick for a month, you know, maybe even over a month, you know, and it was significant. I was almost hospitalized for it, you know. So like it has felt like it's been just one thing after another, you know. But we did something really cool this year. I mean, we went to New Orleans together, right?
Was that in 2024?
Yeah, brother. That was in July, dude.
Oh yeah, we did go to New Orleans, huh?
Yeah. And
that was fun.
That was like super fun, you know. And then you and I did that continuing ed thing for the, what was it? The certificate in fundraising, basically, in North Carolina. When you and I went to North Carolina together, and we went to the Billy Graham Museum afterwards. Remember that?
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. But then, you know, Anne and I took a trip. Well, we took our mother and the kids on a cruise in Europe. And that was just amazing. You know, I gotta say, I loved it. Like, this is the second Disney cruise I've ever done. They're amazing. So we, we went to South. We started off in England, then we went to Germany, then we went to Bruges in Belgium, and then we went to where did we go after that? Oh, we went to Hamburg, Bruges. No, I said there's one other place we went to, but it's not coming to me right now. Those were the only two places because we were supposed to go to Amsterdam, and like there was a dock worker strike, and so we weren't able to do that.
You weren't able to get into Amsterdam?
Right.
Well, that's interesting.
So yeah, there was some sort of, because it's a cruise, you got to go to the docks, and there's some sort of strike or something, so we weren't able to go.
Wow.
But other than that, it was real good,
Yeah.
like the cruise was just amazing. And I'd always had kind of not great feelings about cruises. It's like, it's a floating shopping mall with 5 billion people and rocky. Disney cruise, the Disney experience on a cruise, top notch.
Yeah.
I would highly, highly recommend it. So even though it's been a rough year and it's felt like a rough year, there's been bright spots, which is always nice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else.
I feel like I had I was down there with you in San Diego, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess because I have the persistentness of Jess's cancer that like most other stuff doesn't seem as bad. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like it just like
there's the ever looming threat of death, and
constant.
So yeah. So yeah.
So like even yeah.
Yeah. So that just means that kind of makes everything not seem as bad.
It's weird, but it's true.
It puts it in perspective, I guess, right?
It does.
Do you ever find yourself going, well, at least it's not my wife's cancer?
Never with other people's stuff.
And
with my own stuff, I never like immediately compare it to that, but it is no longer a big deal.
Because you have other crap to put your emotional energy into, right?
Right.
Like each of us has only a certain amount of emotional energy we can put into things, right? And so why would you put your emotional energy into things that, you don't need to put your emotional energy into, right? And that provides perspective, I think, I think that provides a lot of perspective. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
If we don't get anybody on for this, I think next year we should do this and tell people and invite a bunch of people on.
Ring in the new year with us.
Exactly.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Levi's at a band party right now.
Oh, really? Where's it at?
Somebody's house.
What time is he supposed to be home tonight?
I told him to be home before 11.
Oh, really? So he's not going to drop the ball with them?
No, because of the drunk drivers on the road after 12 o'clock. So I said, hey, listen, man, if you were spending the night at somebody's house, I'd let you go. And, with the families we know. But if you're going to come home, I can't, we can't have you on the road after 12.
Right. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah. Did we talk about Cademan?
Not yet.
My daughter got engaged tonight.
Jeremy, why are we not leading with this, Jeremy?
We should have led with this. Exactly.
Okay, so what happened?
Well, he came, Joseph is the young man's name, and And he came to me 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't remember actually what, I mean, it was within the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
And he said, "Can we talk?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah." So we went out and sat at the table.
Okay.
And he was like, "I really love your daughter. And I'd like to ask for her hand in marriage."
He went up to
And
you. He did the old fashioned
he did the old
ask
fashioned
for your
thing.
permission.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, I appreciate the gesture. I am glad that he did that, but it's not my decision.
Sure. Right.
And so what I told him was, I said, "I appreciate you asking me. I think you're trying to show respect for me as her father for doing that." And I said, "My answer to you about this is whatever her answer is. And so she is the one who gets to decide this. And if she says yes, then it's a yes for me. And if she says no, it's a no for me. And as long as she keeps saying yes to you, I will say yes to you."
That's a really good line, Jer. That's a really good line. As long as she keeps on saying yes, I will keep on saying yes.
Right.
Right.
Right. You know? And
Yeah.
so they went and he asked her tonight about a couple hours
Where?
ago. I think
Is he
Cade,
is he down there?
yeah, he's down in Orange County right now with her. He wanted to do it on so this is the Lord spiting me, Joshua. This is the Lord's karmic retribution on me, because I also got married when I was 19 and got engaged on New Year of 1999. And
I was there. I remember.
so that he is doing it on that same date. Yeah. And she was totally surprised.
Do you know how he asked her?
I got a video and he kind of like put some pictures up on the wall but he got down on one knee and he asked her. Yeah.
Dang. That's really good,
Yeah.
Jared.
I just saw that.
Did she post on Insta or anything yet?
No, she hasn't
Has she
posted
made
it.
it? Has she made it be official yet? So at Levi's Eagle Scout ceremony, he told a group of us, he goes, December 31st, I'm asking Cademan.
Oh, Joseph did?
Yeah, he was telling people. So
really?
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah. So, and I said, "Why? You're 19." I didn't say that. I just said, "Hey, man, you should probably wait till you guys graduate school to actually get married, though."
So, yeah.
And my first thought was, I mean, I don't know, like, my first thought was health insurance. Because technically, Cademan can stay on your health care till she's 24, right? And so I was like, that's like for her to figure out her own health care or do it through the school or whatever. That's such a,
And it's so expensive.
Right? Everything is expensive.
So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to hammer home is like, with all of the finance stuff, she is a part of group plans for the family, which makes it cheaper, and we can afford that.
Right.
I can't afford to help her when she gets married and has to pay for all of that on her own.
Right.
So she needs like a job. She needs to be in a career doing this thing, or it's going to be very tough for them. But Jess and I know about that. I mean, it was tough for us for a long time.
Right.
And I just don't want that for her.
Right. Well, we don't want our kids to go through the similar struggles we had, right?
Right.
You know,
Right.
because like it's like we know the path, and we, you know, yeah.
And here's the thing, like, uh, we know how difficult it is, and we know that that kind of difficulty breaks marriages apart.
It can, right? It
You
absolutely
know,
can.
and so I don't want that for them.
You're trying to set them up for success, right?
Exactly, 100%.
That's like the goal. You want it to be, this is the path they want to go down. You want it to be successful, right?
Right.
Well, to Cademan and Joseph.
To Cademan and Joseph, salut.
So,
I think I was craving like sugar because I also brought down the screwball. I like this stuff.
it's too much for me, Jared. It's too much.
Is it?
Yeah. Hey, another thing we did this year, when we went to North Carolina, we hung out with Tuhina, right? And do you remember when we went to the Woolworths counter? That the place that started the civil rights movement?
Okay, that was really cool
Yeah, right? Like,
because I've only seen it in pictures.
right.
Totally. And I thought it was, I didn't recognize that it was like a full blown restaurant in Woolworths. That I thought, when you think of like counter, I think of like a Starbucks kiosk in a Macy's.
Yes. Right.
Or in a grocery store.
Totally.
You don't think of like a full blown restaurant.
Right.
And just to see how big it was pretty cool.
Right.
Oh, I like this stuff. I really do.
That's that peanut butter screwball whiskey.
Yeah, but Screwball is the only one that's good. I've tried another kind and it was not good at all.
It was not it.
No, Screwball has the right mixture of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's your jiu-jitsu going?
Okay. Not great. I think today I was, well, so in December, I don't train a lot. And I purposely don't train a lot because 2 years ago I got sick and I got COVID for Christmas. And I was like, I cannot do that again. Right. So I'm like around December 10th, 11th, I start not training, going into the gym as much. Right. And so the last time I trained was December 10th. And I'd already taken a month off, probably more than a month off for being sick and stuff. I'll show you. Do you keep a calendar of your jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. I can't believe we've never talked about this, but yes, I do.
Okay. I'll show you what I.
Okay. While you're pulling, I'll tell you what I do while you're pulling that up.
Good.
I have a wall calendar that shows each month on it.
Okay.
And I track my weight every day because I'm on a weight loss journey, and I like to see, but it's like a stock market going down, right? Like it goes up and down and up and down, and
sure.
then, but it's always on a downward trajectory. And then on the calendar, I make a giant X on the day that I go to jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So I can see when I've gone.
Great. Yeah.
And so that's how I track it, and I've tracked it. I think I've tracked it for the last 2 years like that.
Well, I've already thrown away my last tracker, but I use this. And so what this is they're boxes, right? And they're numbered 1 through 31, right?
Okay.
And then this is just January, February, March, whatever. And what I do is I color in a box if it's, say, January 1st. And since I'm a purple belt now, I use purple. And if I go to jiu-jitsu and if I work out at the gym, I'll just use like another marker and go green. Right.
Okay.
And then throughout the whole year, I can kind of see visually on one page how many times I've gone. And then at the end of the month, I'll say, okay, I've worked out, blah, 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 blah. And then what I do at the end of the year, which I did today, it's as I put here how many times like my starting weight at the beginning of the year, right? And
Yeah.
then how many times I've gone to jujitsu classes, and then how
Mm-hmm.
many workouts I've had. So I'm down. Like I started off the year at my weight 233, right? Um, and then I went to 80 BJJ classes. I went to BJJ 80 times, and then I worked out 72 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and that's down from last year. So,
Oh, I need to
uh,
track how much I go to the gym. I think I'll do that this year.
so for 20, yeah, I've been doing it since 2022.
Yeah.
Just keeping track, right? And then sometimes I'll go to the gym and go to BJJ, and I just kind of track that too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but I also have like on this one, I have like my belts when I got them,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have like all the tournaments that I've been in,
Mm-hmm.
and what I won or lost by, and if I got a medal or something, you know. Um, but I don't really know when I started training jujitsu, like
You
because
started before me, right?
dude, I don't remember, like, because I was like I went to this one boxing and I was doing boxing, but they also had no gi. And so like I did a class, but the guy was a blue belt. And so we only worked on like one thing ever, you know? And it was
Mm-hmm.
weird. It was a weird place. And then I went to I think I went to grad school after that. And like
Didn't you? Where did you do it in Pasadena though?
I never did jujitsu in Pasadena. I started doing Kempo in when I was in grad school. I was doing boxing and then I went to that Kempo school.
Yeah, but did Richard Mosquita get you in to his school? Did you ever train there with me
At
or
his
no?
jujitsu, no, I never did jujitsu.
Because
You
I
s-
did it with him.
you did it. I did not do it with him. But then I can't remember if this was before or after I went up to like 2009. Like I see, I just can't remember because it was like there was a time where I trained for like a month at the school in Santee, right? It was gi jujitsu,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only like 4 weeks, and on the third week I broke my ribs.
Oh, I remember that.
And so then I stopped and I didn't do it again, right?
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
and then like school and then like so I don't really remember, but I do remember that when I really started jujitsu and like I was consistent because it was like train for a month and then train for a few months, but it was a weird school. So like,
Right.
was it Victory MMA when I was an intern? And that was in 2000 and like 10, 2011. So I think
Mm-hmm.
2011 is when I started jujitsu. Yeah. And that's when like I would train regularly when I went to Victory MMA. And then after that, we moved up to the Bay Area and I started at that UFC gym.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. But it was like when I really took like my first jujitsu class, I don't even, I can tell you my first jujitsu class, but this was right before I moved up for seminary in 2005. And I knew that I wasn't going to train because I know a guy named Greg McIntyre, and he was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's like, oh, I trained at the boxing club in downtown San Diego. They're not there anymore. And so I went and took a no-gi class, and I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea what I was doing,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like I
Nobody
don't
does.
even I didn't even remember. And so we like did things and it felt clumsy, like it felt like, I didn't even know, right? And so like it was like, oh, that was a good workout, but I had no idea. And then I went to that school where I broke my ribs for a month. And then that's where like this 13-year-old girl kept on tapping me out. She kept on armbarring me from close guard. And
Oh,
I was like, what? I couldn't comprehend what was happening. And then
yeah.
and then I was doing this thing and this guy who was real big and he was a blue belt. I kind of like sat up and sat on the thing and he freaking like speared me with his body and my whole body
Oh,
went like this. and I went down and broke ribs here. And like, I remember going home and I was telling Enrique, I'm like, I think I broke some ribs. I think we got to go to the hospital. Sure enough, two of them cracked, and so I was out for, yeah, it was a long
For
time.
months. Yeah.
It was a long time. So,
Didn't you train in Berkeley though? Or was that the place?
so I took a few classes in Berkeley when I was in Berkeley. Like, I took like 3 classes and then I didn't, So it was like, I had maybe a total of like 6 or 7 classes before I was at Victory MMA, just kind of
Yeah.
here and there, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was
Right.
yeah. When did you start?
I don't even know, dude.
Do you remember? Well, I remember you were doing that with Richard up in Pasadena. Like it was La
Yeah,
Cañada, wasn't
M3.
it?
Yeah, La Cañada,
Okay.
La Crescenta, M3 Fight and Fitness.
Hmm.
And the first instructor there was Wander Braga. And then,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, he was the first guy there. And then he got into some kind of legal something, I think with immigration or something like that. And so he had to give up the school. And then Alessandre took over. And so then Alessandro started another school. And so I went to that school. And then when I moved up, I started going to UFC with you.
Mm-hmm. Those were some fun times.
Yeah. And then after UFC, I ended up with, I went with the head instructor because he started his own school. And then I was like, I'm done with that. So I went to started going to Sabre.
Yeah, yeah. And when I had started the UFC, Bryant he was probably there a week or two, and then he started his own school.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Okay.
like he was like I saw him, but I don't know that we'd ever met or
Right.
or he would remember me,
Right.
but
He
yeah.
says he vaguely remembered you from back
Uh,
then.
yeah, I mean, he was like on his way out, so like, and I was on my way in, so yeah.
Oh man, I got a back take today because this is back take week. I
Mm-hmm.
got a back take today that I absolutely love, and it's from the north-south position when you're on top.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the back take from that position?
So we just like pick them up, think they're back. I know
Kind
what you're
of. You
talking.
you 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 under the arm and grab the collar, so it's under the arm here, and then you
Uh-huh.
do it to here, right? And then you
Yeah.
put you tripod your head on their chest to keep them
Uh,
down, and then you just stand up and drag them backwards into your
uh,
your
right. Right.
uh, yeah.
Oh man. So because I mean there's this green belt. He's a cop up in SF, and I think he wrestled before because he has such a great base, and he's been training maybe a year. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, he handed me my butt today.
Oh, I hate
Like,
when that
I mean,
happens.
he's in
Yeah.
his 20s, he's so strong and but man, he was able to hold me down today. And he was holding me down and he had such good pressure. And and then from that pressure, what he's learned to do really well is to be patient with the submission.
Hmm.
A lot of white belts, they try to rush at the thing, right? And try
Hmm.
to and so that gives people the opportunity to escape. But he's learned to take it slow, to not try to rush into anything, you know.
Yeah.
And he Americaned me twice today, just from that kind of good pressure, good base, and then getting the slow Americana on me. And
Wow.
it was rough, dude. And he's such a great guy. I love this guy. I love rolling with this guy. He's great guy. But I was feeling like, crap, man. Like I'm getting my handed to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to remember to be patient when I have submissions. I
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know when to let them go and move on to something else. And I was rolling with somebody 2 weeks ago, and I had him in a bread cutter,
Mm-hmm.
and I had it. I don't know. I had him in that position. What felt like 30 seconds,
Okay.
which is, a long time to have somebody in it. And so I waited just a little longer, and then I transitioned, and the time got up, And then he came to me and said, "Why did you let that go?"
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't think I had it. And he goes, "You had it. And you almost got me with it. Like, if you would have just kept going with it and just kept, so I got to think if I have something, I got to think of it as a position.
Yeah. That's the thing with especially the bread cutter. You are already in a good position. Don't give up that good position, right?
Right.
And figure out how it can reveal the neck will reveal itself, right?
Right.
You
Right.
know? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Are you doing anything this year for like a New Year's resolution?
I've been thinking about it. I'm a really good out of town friend. Like if people are like from out of town and they come into town, I'll like drop stuff to go hang out with them.
Right.
But I'm not a great in town friend, So I kind of want to be more intentional about seeing people, hanging out with them. I want to be more intentional about that. And I know this about myself, and I've known this about myself for years. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to do. I also want to go see more music this year. So our church had a big band come in, and it was for a Christmas show, and it was amazing. And I'm like, love this kind of music, and really love symphonies, And the one time I went to a symphony, I loved it. I thought it was amazing, So I think I want to try to do that a little bit more, just to be in that kind of presence of music and artistic kind of. I think I want to be more intentional with that. So yeah. And I want to stop sucking at jujitsu. So, because honestly, I still, I've been a purple belt a year now, and I still feel like,
Right.
I still got major, I feel like imposter syndrome on that one.
I've told my coach, I'm like, listen, I don't have any like grandiose ideas about my jujitsu. The only thing that I want is to be able to beat my brother. I said that is my goal, is to just continually beat my brother in jiu-jitsu.
Did he laugh at that?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Jeremy, I avoid you right now, Jeremy. When we're on the mats together, I avoid you. And I avoid you is because you're like 30 pounds heavier than me. And that, like, when you get the last time you got on top of me, I was like,
Did I get you in the kesa? Did I get you in the kesa?
You did get me in the kesa. And it was not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. I feel like when we roll together again, I'm going to have to fight you. Like, we're not going to be rolling. I'm going to fight you. So,
yeah, I'm still too nice. I've been to jiu-jitsu for so freaking long, Josh, but I'm still too nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my personality. I don't want, like, I really enjoy this, but I want to be liked.
So this is the thing too, right? And I don't know if this is for you, but I'm one of the bigger people at my gym, right? And I know that people avoid me.
Right.
I know that people avoid rolling with me because they take a look at me and they go, I don't want to have to deal with that much today. And so they'll go to other people, right? So like, I know that sometimes I'm the odd man out, because people are avoiding me. And part of that, like, so I don't ever want to hurt somebody or lay on them too hard or put too much weight on them because I want people to roll with me again. You know what I mean?
But no doubt your coach has told you that that's all BS.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was just talking with a friend of mine today. His name's Doug. He's a black belt. He's not old, but he's like 60, and he's like, he's like, one of the best things I ever told you was not to be so nice. Yeah, like once you find your aggression, you're gonna be something to deal with, and because I was just being nice to, like, I wouldn't,
Right.
be like, oh. Another thing that I've been thinking about with jujitsu is like sometimes I think of jujitsu like there's this great sweet spot when you roll with people where you're like genuinely trading back and forth, right?
Right.
You're genuinely trading moves back and forth, and you're like, and that feels like a zone, like
Mm-hmm.
you're in the zone, and then you catch or they catch, and it's like, crap, that was great, and whether you get caught or you catch, you're like, that was awesome, because it took so many moves to get to that point, right?
Right.
So I love that. I love that feeling. But sometimes I think jujitsu, I think mentally, I think it's more like a dance than it is like me imposing my will on somebody. And I think sometimes I have to think about it that way, as me imposing my will on somebody, not me
Yeah,
dancing with somebody.
I
You know what I
tend
mean?
to think of
There's a
it, yeah, because
difference,
I tend to think of it more like a dance than I do imposing my will.
right?
And
That's
maybe
how I,
what keeps me back.
right.
That I need to think about it more like just imposing my will on people.
It's a mental difference, I think. I think some of this stuff is mental for me too, you know?
Right.
Uh, so
Yeah.
yeah. There's this one woman, her name's Kayla at my gym. I love her. I love Derek, her husband. They're just great people, right? And him and I always trade. I remember this one time I'm rolling with her, right? And she did something and I stopped. I'm like, listen, dude, you need to be mean. You need to be mean to me. And I'm not talking like, I'm talking like you need to grind like your hand, your forearm into my neck when you're doing this move. You know what I mean? Like you cannot show me any mercy. I said, if there's somebody here who you cannot show mercy to, it's me. And she's like, huh? Okay. But damn it, I'm mad I told her this.
Is she giving it to you now?
Oh, she is like, I mean, I outweigh her by 100 and something pounds, right? But I'm not flowing with her. I don't want her to do things to me. And so I'm trying to stop her and I'm trying to get a better position. And she's doing so freaking well. She
What
had me
belt is
caught
she?
in, she's a blue belt.
Okay.
But she stopped being nice. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like, so she got me in a triangle position today. And with her, because she's so much smaller than me, I didn't want to stack pass her, right? Because that would have been kind of the easier way to get out of that for me. So I was trying other triangle escapes,
Right.
but I couldn't do it on her. Like she was
Mm.
not letting me, And so after a little while, I stacked, you know.
Dude, I stack past everybody. If you are brave enough to triangle my big melon, it's my only move right now, Josh. It's my only like consistent combination that I have is baiting the triangle, stack passing the triangle straight into bread cutter.
Do you ever, when you're passing, get the back of their, like, hold up their butt in the air as you're passing and then try to choke that way?
I
Like,
go
so that
straight for the
they're,
thumb. I go straight for the thumb in,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
right? The thumb in, and so this is against their neck. I'm holding them up and I'm stack passing. And then as soon as I let it go, I reach under and grab the arm.
Oh, I'm saying keep their butt in the air. In fact, put your foot behind their butt so that, because then they don't have anywhere to go and they're like this, and then you're just choking down. You know what I mean?
I have not
Like
done that.
choke them, like all you're doing is you're keeping your hand basically on the top of their coccyx, right? And
Yeah.
you're holding up their butt in the air, and then you're using this foot to keep by their back, and then you just choke them.
I'll try it. I'll try it tomorrow when I
I
go.
because then they don't have anywhere to go. Their
Right,
hips are
right.
in the air and their shoulders are on the ground, and they're like this, and it's just, I don't know. I like that move. Okay,
Yeah.
you got to be careful on who you do it to, because it's a neck thing. It's a weird neck
Yeah.
thing too, So
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. I still want to take a wrist locking seminar with Pete then.
I do too. Hey, we're gonna go in July to that
Oh yes,
retreat,
we are.
to that
How
grappling.
how long is it going to take us to get there?
I think 3 or 4 hours.
Is it Roy Dean that we're going?
Is that the guy's name? Yeah, yeah, it is.
Is it? I like his
Yeah,
videos.
yeah,
He seems to have a really smooth style.
yeah. And I'm really looking for. I mean, I'm looking forward to like the retreat atmosphere. It's only like it's limited to like 16 people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like it feels like a private, right? Because you
Right.
know, two groups of it's a group of 8 people, marked into two, and then it's like beautiful area, world like good food, your own room. But it just sounds like an amazing.
We get our own room.
I think I'm pretty sure we get our own room. I think we share bathrooms, but we get our own room.
All right. How many geese are you going to bring?
Oh, I thought I'd bring like 3 maybe. They
Yeah, I
do
got.
wash. I think they do wash for us, or we do our
Oh,
own wash or something like that. But it's 2 trainings a day,
okay.
so maybe
Oh, that's
4
going to be
years.
rough. I gotta. That's a lot.
Yo, you better get it together, baby, because it's like 2 trainings a day. Might do some hiking while we're there. Like, you better, yeah. You're gonna want to. Ooh, okay. You're gonna want to. Better get together because you're gonna be my partner in this that week.
Oh yeah, I'll be your partner, no problem. I'll be your partner, no problem.
So yeah,
That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of
yeah.
fun.
So you have till July. You got 6 months, 7 months, 6 months to make it happen. Or hey, we didn't talk about you though. Are you doing anything? Are you getting anything intentional this next year?
Um, I haven't really thought about it.
No, no.
Just more jujitsu. More
Sport jujitsu.
jujitsu. I want to get better at it.
Yeah, I
You
love
know.
jujitsu, man.
Yeah.
We got to keep on doing those privates then, huh?
Yeah, my wife really is a testament to all spouses in jujitsu because she encourages me to go. She is my biggest supporter in jujitsu.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, she just one my biggest supporter. And she got me 16 private lessons, right? And the thing about that is like for Christmas, I don't need anything. For Father's Day, I don't need anything. For
Right,
my birthday, I don't need anything. But the
right.
one thing that is that she's given me is more experience.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
And
huge.
I mean, maybe it's just the age we are, but it's like I don't need things, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
I don't need
Absolutely.
things. I don't need stuff. Like I'm at the place where I'm like, I value experiences now, you know?
100%.
Uh, and so, which is kind of why I'm doing that music thing. Like I want to be more intentional about music because I've become, I think since COVID, I've become a real homebody,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I gotta get out more.
Yeah.
So
Hey, man, we're coming up on an hour.
yeah,
Nobody
we are,
joined
dude.
us, which is okay. I got to figure out how to get this online on like Facebook to go live with Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
We'll
maybe
figure it
we'll
out.
get some people. But if we do this again, we'll actually invite people on and have them talk about the year and stuff like that. So
That'd be good, dude. And it was just cool hanging out for an hour. It was good drinking,
it was good.
talking about our year, reflecting. I appreciated that. Appreciated that a
Indeed.
lot.
Indeed.
So,
All right, friends.
all right.
Peace.
Peace.